Alison Vaughn, thank you very much for choosing to accept the Rising Phoenix Awards nomination.
Well, thank you so much. And I just want to thank all those that nominated me. I'm a Michigan State University grad, so go Spartans. So right after I graduated from Michigan State, I moved out to Los Angeles because a roommate of mine that had graduated 6 months prior, and I went to visit her. Started working for United Airlines. I had a wonderful career. That was in 1990. And then fast forward to 2000, I started Jackets for Jobs.
Okay.
But the reason why I started Jackets for Jobs was basically out of a tragic situation.
Okay.
Really two reasons. One, I had a sister, we had the same dad, different mothers. When we reunited, I found out we hadn't seen each other in a long time. And when we reunited, she told me that she was dying of cancer. And then 6 months later, she died. And then as a result of helping with the funeral arrangements, I found out that she was on welfare. And so I wanted to be able to do something and give back. And so basically that's the heart of why I started the organization, to be able to help empower women that were on welfare and helping to empower and have women to better themselves so they don't have to rely on government assistance. So that's the real reason why I started this organization 22 years ago. That was all within the same time of September 11th with the bombing and the terrorists, because I was with United Airlines. And that's when United said, everyone's afraid to fly. What the flight attendants and pilots like to take a leave of absence. And so during that leave of absence, the same time, basically when she died, I started Jackets for Jobs. So the tragedy of September 11th and the tragedy of my sister dying of cancer, those two things sort of were around the same time frame. And I birthed an organization that here it is, 22 years and helping over 30,000 job seekers. I would have never thought of this because when I graduated from Michigan State, I was thinking I was going to do something in business. I was enjoying, working with United Airlines. I knew that I had a steady paycheck. And then to leave all that behind and say, okay, I'm going to listen to that little inner voice, listen to my intuition, listen to God, and say, there's something bigger that I see for you. And so there was a bigger plan that God had for me to be able to touch so many personal lives. Because you think if I touch one young lady and then she has 5 kids and she's on welfare, she's able to empower herself to get a job, to become self-sufficient. I've helped that whole family. And so to be able to do that, I just think is just so touching. Ever since the pandemic, that big word, you have to learn to pivot. Yeah. That was like the big word pivot because, everyone's staying at home. People are afraid to go out. And with Jackets for Jobs, we're hands-on because people come to us, they physically get clothes. And so it was really hard to figure out how to pivot because it's not like I can just do my work on a computer. We really, physically hand out clothes. And so we do job training in addition to clothing. So to answer your question, where do we go from here? I just listen to that inner voice. I listen to God and, and I get my direction from whatever he says. And so I just gonna continue to, empower. I just go by that, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. And so Jackets for Jobs is like a ministry. I'm clothing the poor. And so there's always going to be a need for that, unfortunately, but that's my mission. And that's the role that I'm on, is to clothe the poor. And that's our audience. Homeless, people that are returning citizens, women that are victims of domestic violence. So that is my core audience, are the people that you just mentioned. So our organization, we are part of the City of Detroit's workforce development. So they can go to any of the 9 different Detroit at Work sites, sign up, and then they will give them a referral form. And then they come to Jackets for Jobs to receive clothing. Everything is free to them. So that's a nice thing. And so when people donate clothing, we always ask that the clothes are clean, on hangers, and ready for our clients to wear because they don't have the money to have things dry cleaned. And when they come to us, we're giving these things to them so they can go for their job interview or get back into the workforce, or if they're in a shelter. So we ask that the clothes are clean. So they can go to our 2 locations. We have one on the east side of Detroit, which is inside of the Samaritan Center, which is at 5555 Connor. And then our West Side office is at 7800 West Otter Drive, and that's located inside of the Henry Ford Medical Building. So both locations are 1 block from Wayne County Community College. So we are so grateful for the community because they're always donating clothes. And then we're also looking for financial support if people would like to make a financial contribution. And they can do all of that, find out more information about donating, whether it's clothing or financial support, on our website, jacketsforjobs.org. The community has just overwhelmingly been supportive. And I think because of the pandemic and people are working from home, so now they're home cleaning out their closets, or they're just looking and saying, gee, I don't wear this anymore. So we've been getting so many donations, which is a wonderful thing. So we're actually like over capacity, and we've had to tell people, wait until, a couple of weeks before you can, donate, because we just don't have the space. So I just cannot thank the Detroit community enough for all of the assistance that they have been giving us as far as clothing donations.
Is there anything that you would say to somebody who's looking for resources right off the top without listening to your story?
Like our title, Jackets for Jobs. So we provide the life jacket for survival. We clothe the poor and we help them. So as long as they get a referral from one of the Detroit offices, we will be happy to clothe them. We know that clothing is a necessity. It's one of the barriers that prevent people from making that next step. We know that a lot of times people do things, either they have barriers to transportation, they don't have transportation, they have childcare barriers, or all these different barriers to prevent them from finding a job or going to the next level. And so one of the barriers is clothing and self-esteem. And so that's what we're here for. The thing is, there's so many resources out there, people just don't know about them. And so you provide an avenue and a vehicle for people to learn more resources. And so I thank you for what you're doing, because you let other people know about resources available for them.
Well, thank you for that, Allison. So if somebody from Toledo picks this up, or somebody from Fort Wayne, Indiana picks this up, any suggestions for where they might go for something like yours?
At this time, we're just in the Detroit area, but they can make donations.
Yeah.
So if they would like to donate financially, they're more than welcome to go to our website if they see that. But other than that, right now we used to be in Botswana, over in Africa, South Africa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went over there on a mission trip. It was a trade mission trip. And then I realized that, globally, people have the same problems and same situations that, globally. So, but we closed that office just due to COVID and so forth. But we were over in Botswana for many, many years. But that's the only other office that we had. I don't have any other offices in the United States, but I say we're small but mighty. So we do a lot in the Detroit area. And I think if anyone ever says, well, what kind of business problems or have you ever had? I think I used to be afraid to expand, because I know more expansion, more problems, like that one song I've got, 99 problems, but the same one. But more money, more problems, just expanding, and I think I was just afraid of just expanding and going further. But right now I'm able to do a lot in my hometown. I'm born and raised in the Detroit area, and I feel that I can have a great imprint here.